without a central location, they haven't been able to receive donations. So if you know anybody that isn't here and can donate food, please let them know that our kitchen is in need of it. Okay, so would you please raise your hand if you ever visited our camp over at Chapman and Lowngesdale Square? All right. Would you please raise your hand if this is your first time coming out? I know it's kind of scary to get up on the microphone.
Sorry. It's only filled with this green paper.
If it is your first time here, I think that's a great idea. We'd love to hear from you. And usually when we do these open forum, soapbox sort of things, I'm facilitating, so I don't get up to say a lot of what's on my mind and in my heart. So I'm gonna take just a little bit of time, and I hope that's okay. And if I'm waxing on too long, please feel free to tell me. So it's my understanding that we're sharing our personal stories and our heartfelt reasons for being here. My name's Adrian. I've been actively organizing politically for like over a decade and over 6 years here in Portland. And I've had some amazing experiences. This is not the first time where I have worked day in and day out on a project. It is the first time where I have worked day in and day out and dreamt about it, and it's never left my mind, and it's severely compromised probably every other obligation and relationship in my life. And I don't see it coming to an end in that capacity anytime soon. It's not just a month-long project for me this time, and I'm really excited about that because so I was raised very conservative Mormon in Scottsdale and Phoenix, Arizona. And my radicalization process started when I was pretty young, about the time after my dad died when I was 10. And this is what I've been looking for my entire life. This is what every one of those experiences, what every one of those lessons, every inch and portion of all of my other involvement in my radicalization has been leading up to this. And I'm so excited for where this is going to take me and all of us. Woo! Thanks, yeah. And just a point of interest, my dad died on November 13th. And that day was always, every year, you know, his birthday was on October 29th, he died on November 13th, so that time period in between that 2 weeks was always really hard for me, and I felt it coming every year, and I'd get really like low and sad during those times. And this year we were evicted on November 13th. However, it was the first year that I have not even remembered that day was coming, and that I was elated the entire day. And it was amazing. So thank you everyone for that, for helping me get outside of myself enough to move beyond that. It was a big step. Yeah. And I just want to remind everyone that, you know, I'm really excited that everyone's out today. I hope more people show up. Obviously not the same turnout as our first occupation, but I want to remind everyone that we are an iconoclastic movement. We are forging our own way in face and in light of a lot of opposition that's ingrained into our society, and we will always be facing that opposition. And I think that we need to learn to embrace it, but not get bogged down by it and not get discouraged, because as iconoclasts, we can't apologize to anyone, and we have to keep forging our own way. And for every one person that you see out here now, and for every one person that's been working at max capacity for the last 2 months straight, there are countless others for each one of us that are out in their communities in our own city right now that are feeling like they're going to get engaged for the first time, that are starting their own occupation-related projects in their neighborhoods, that are starting to think about these things seriously, to take them seriously, to take themselves seriously for the first time ever, and that's amazing. And we are a decentralized movement, even though we have so much power when we congregate together, and I want everyone to really remember that and to celebrate it. Oh, and the last thing I want to say, totally unrelated to all of that touchy-feely stuff, is that I was just out for a week and a half. I've been battling the occuplague for like the last month and a half. Yeah, and which I think is bronchitis, by the way, the occuplague. But anyway, I'm pretty sure I got it from megaphones and microphones. So I just, as we move deeper into the winter and we have to think about our health, especially if we're occupying again, please, when you're done with the megaphone and microphone, wipe it off. I can't tell you how many times I've been facilitating and someone's gotten up and made this really heartfelt, wonderful plea and appeal, and then I get up and I'm like, that's right, and my lips touch it and it's wet and it's like, oh no! That was 20 other people and their occuplague on my lips, so just wipe it off, that's all. And thank you for being out here, and I love you all, and I'm so glad to be back.
Providing that critical mass we need for visibility to wake up the rest of the country. And I just want to call out the corporate media for some of their portrayals. In particular, I was down there on the 13th when the riot police, stormtroopers came through, and we all sat down and were chanting peacefully, and there were a couple long tables of donated food, some very nice donuts, etc. And they flipped those tables over on us and whatever, and made a real mess. And then they kicked us out and put a cyclone fence around that park. And then they have it on the media saying, oh, I can't believe these occupiers made such a mess down here and left it. And that wasn't what happened. We were cleaning up. If they didn't kick us out, we would have cleaned that up too. We're respectable people, and we're not here to make a mess. So I just want to call out the corporate media for portraying that. And then I also want to thank all the guerrilla media folks down here streaming this and showing what's really going on. Really appreciate that. Critical. And then I just want to point out how ridiculous I'm crying about this $85,000 they're going to have to invest in grass seed and clean some spray paint off. That $85,000 is being paid by me and you. It's our park, and it's just ludicrous when we have corporations getting subsidized to the tune of billions while people are starving and they're whining about $85,000.
Fucking A!
Get some perspective.
Damn straight.
All right, yeah, thank you. Viva Occupy. Parks! Our streets!
Our streets!
Whose country?
Our country!
Just checking. I wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page there. That being said, I want you guys to know that we are out here. We are assembling peacefully. We are unarmed.
Yes, we are.
I haven't seen anybody walking around in some radical bomb suit or anything, so there's no need for stormtroopers. That being said, I want to maybe refresh people's memory on the Constitution of the United States of America. Says we can do this. Actually, it's pretty fucking clear how they wrote it. Now, why we still have rights, and the 1% is trying to make them privileges to themselves, let's practice these rights. How about that? Is anybody with me? Can I get a yeah? Alright, now this is obviously a very small percent of the 99% of even this city. But if you all have a voice and you all have a presence, we can represent them peacefully and properly. So I ask you to remain peaceful, to remain respectful of each other and the earth and the rest of the community, and to exercise your rights of freedom here, we are showing each other that we care about these issues, and we have to grow this. Because this is democracy. This is individual people saying, hey, I have some concerns. Let's talk about it. Let's have a dialogue. We then reach consensus and we can take action. It is not as though the system will have a spiritual awakening and suddenly change its behavior. We have to change our behavior. The world as it is the way it's going to continue to be until people make different choices. And we are making a different choice right now. We are saying, hey, I'm going to spend my personal time to try and make my community a better place. And this is how we get a different world. A different world comes from different people, and we are all actively choosing to become different people right now, and that empowers all of us because we know that we're all here. So thank you for coming out, and encourage your friends to come out too, because this is what democracy looks like, baby. All right, so we kind of lost our line a little bit. All right, so we have somebody that wants to speak. If you would like to speak and you weren't here earlier when this was announced, what we're doing is we're going through and having everybody give their own personal stories, their own personal reasons for being here. As I said before, a lot of people seem confused. Why Occupy? Why come out and protest? Why do any of this? But all of us seem to have a reason that we're here, and so I think we should help them out and tell them why.
Hello everybody, my name is Bruce, Barefoot Bruce, today. And I actually wrote an article published online called Honeybee Democracy, the Occupy Movement and the Critique of Hierarchy. And a lot of people said that they came to understand a little bit better about the movement. To me, what's really important is that we are a model. As Gandhi said, be the change that you seek. And a very, very smart fellow in the 20th century, Buckminster Fuller, said, you don't change things by fighting the existing model. You create a new model that makes the old one obsolete. And to me, the power of this movement is in setting a new example and a cultural change. And I am so excited to see this happening. This has been very, very frustrating 10 years, and to see this all coming together and coalescing spontaneously is really beautiful. And I'll end it right here. Thank you all.
Thank you, brother!
Hey, can everyone hear me?
Yes!
Anyone in the back not able to? Cool! Hi, my name is Sam. The reason why I've been here and involved in the Occupy movement is for my children. I want to be able to tell them that there was a time when America did not follow democracy. When there were around 400 people making our decisions. And that is, in my opinion, bullshit. I want to be able to tell my children that we are able to get rid of them and get rid of the corporations that sponsor them. I want to be able to tell my children that capitalism wasn't always evil. Hell, let's just get rid of it entirely. But I just want this world to be a beautiful place where they can have a chance to actually live and not be slaves of work. I want to be able to work a 40-hour week because I haven't done that in a while. My last job, I was working 70 hours a week, and that should never happen. Yeah, so why I'm doing this is for my children, and I love you all. Thank you, brother!
Hello, my name is Charles again. I'd like to say that a few things. We are family. Can't hear you, Charles. Hey, louder, Charles.
Mic check it.
More. All right, I'm going to try to yell. Mic check. I'd like to say thank you for showing the support.
Walk across the street. Where that car is from. Is that
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I've been working on your house.
So my statement to you is...
It will to some degree. That's the history of the world.
When I came back, I cut them to the side. I forgot to get the guy's name.
Like the Constitution.
If there was some way to make it look
Lauren!
right.
How's it going?
Money does things to people.
Money does things to people.
But speech does better things to people.
But speech does better things to people.
So make sure you have a voice.
So make sure you have a voice.
And you came out here.
If you came out here,
You're not shy.
you're not shy.
Please say something.
Please say something.
Earlier,
Earlier,
we raised hands
you raised hands
for people who
for people who
are here for the first time.
are here for the first time.
Can we do that again?
Can we do that again?
A lot of people going up there.
Mic check.
Mike,
I'm Sarah.
I'm Sarah.
This is my first time down here.
This is my first time down here.
I'm a student at PCC,
I'm a student at PCC.
and I'm down here for my dad.
I'm down here for my dad.
About 10 years ago,
About 10 years ago,
after working for 20 years,
after working for 20 years,
loyally, for a public utility,
for a public utility,
his job was gone.
his job was gone.
The CEOs
The CEOs
sold off all of the assets,
sold off all the assets,
took a gigantic bonus in billions, and now my dad, in his 60s,
in his 60s,
is starting over with retirement.
starting over with retirement.
No, none of us,
None of us,
in my generation,
in our generation,
in our generation, even knows what it is to have a retirement.
even knows what it is to have a retirement.
So I'm grieving
I'm grieving
for the hope
there.
that we once had,
that we once had.
and I'm here to march for that.
I'm here to march for that.
And I was called a dirty, long-haired, stinking hippie.
And I was called a dirty,
And now I'm still being called a dirty, long-haired, stinking hippie.
and now I'm still being called a dirty, long-haired, stinking hippie.
And I wasn't one then,
And I wasn't one then,
and I'm not one now.
and I'm not one now.
And the ability to arrest any U.S. citizen with no cause, okay, and keep them indefinitely. How can they even be entertaining this idea? It's insane. Not only that, right, that they can arrest any human being on the planet at any time and anywhere, again, and hold them indefinitely. And what does that amount to? Well, some of us think that amounts to a declaration of war on all of us. That's what it seems to amount to, okay? And this needs to be quashed right now. Now, our senators and congressmen and whatever, they apparently didn't vote for this, but a lot of people in other states, it turns out, don't even know this is going on. All right, so if you have family or anything like that in other states, call them up. I just called my folks, they didn't know, and they're up on stuff. So seriously, call outside and let people know we got to smash this right now. This was only opposed by, what, 2, 3, or 4 of these congressmen, senators, or whoever in blazes they are. And the reason they're doing it, I think, is because they're actually under the direct control of corporations, folks. That's why. They're the ones who are threatened by all of this activity worldwide here, okay? And they want the ability to fucking stamp on that. Sorry for my language. Yes, they did. Yes.
36 hours, man. 36 hours. I'll be gone.
Hi. My name's Tom.
My name's Tom.
I have no idea what I'm going to say. Here it is. I remember the 60s.
I remember the 60s.
And I remember McCarthy.
And I remember McCarthy.
And the 60s are a time when I had some hope.
The 60s were a time when I had some hope.
Because of civil rights legislation.
Because of civil rights legislation.
Because of opposition to the Vietnam War.
Because of opposition to the Vietnam War.
And then that hope went on vacation.
And then that hope went on vacation.
And then kind of came up again in '99 with Seattle.
And then it kind of came up again in '99 with Seattle.
And now is flowering.
And now it's flowering.
Because I see hope here.
Because I see hope here.
Multiple generations.
Multiple generations.
And we're all for one thing.
And we're all for one thing.
Corporations are bums.
Corporations are bums.
Thank you.
My name's Alex.
My name's Alex.
I was born in the Soviet Union.
I was born in the Soviet Union.
And I remember in kindergarten a guy from the NKVD showing up and telling us how to turn our parents in if they said something not nice about Comrade Stalin. And then during World War II, I was in a German slave labor camp as an 11-year-old. Then I came over here in 1949, and I thought this place was paradise. Couldn't do enough for it, joined the army during the Korean War, all that. And then, after Reagan, I noticed the place turning into the same pile of crap that I had left back in civilized, cultured Europe. And I think we should do anything, absolutely anything, to stop these bastards from doing to us what they did to Europe. I'm not radicalized. I was a high school teacher for the past 40 years. Anyway, it's very nice being with all of you and doing what needs to be done.
Wow, that was an incredible story.
Hello. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I just want to say, when our forefathers signed the Declaration of Independence.
I just want to say, when our forefathers signed the Declaration of Independence.
They stated our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that's what this is about.
They stated it in 3 to 4 words.
Sorry. We must do everything in our power.
We must do everything in our power.
To protect this movement.
To protect this movement.
And our civil liberties.
And our civil liberties.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oppose the NDAA!
What? Oppose the NDAA.
On 12/12, same day as Occupy the Ports, we're going to be launching a number of these from here at 6:30 p.m. Show up and you can buy one too. Yeah, so it seems to me that there's a whole lot of people who have a whole lot of great ideas about Occupy Portland and our future together. And these Skylanders, they're huge in Asia. They're a symbol. There's holidays all over Asia that have these, and they're a symbol of hopes and dreams of what we can imagine for the future. And they're super cheap. They're biodegradable. They're relatively safe. And I've got about 200 of them. So if you want to come here and help me launch some, 6:30, 12/12, Occupy the Ports. Right before the GA.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I think everybody should know that since May 2011, 5 Tibetans inside the autonomous region of Tibet have protested by self-immolation.
Self-immolation.
This is lighting yourself on fire.
This is lighting yourself on fire.
We need to pay respect.
We need to pay respect
to the work.
To the work
that these Tibetans have been doing.
That these Tibetans have been doing.
To regain their freedom.
To regain their freedom.
We need to honor.
We need to honor
the city of Portland.
The city of Portland.
For being the #1 city.
For being the #1 city.
In America.
In America.
To bring
Tibetan refugees.
To bring Tibetan refugees.
To a safer place.
To a safer place.